Hello, my name is John Howard and I'm very pleased to have been invited by Life Is A Minestrone to play you a few songs over the next 45 minutes or so. Some new songs, some old songs, and I'm going to start with one of my very early songs. In fact, it became the title song of my debut album, Kid in a Big World, which was recorded at Abbey Road and Apple in 1974. And this goes back to 1973, I wrote this one. Hey, you're a kid in a big world now, stuck in the middle now. No time for fear, no time for tears, oh. Hey, you're a kid in a big world now, apartments in every town. No time for friends to make you laugh or come down for a chat. Now what do you think of that? Is that what you planned? Or was it just glamour and you thought you could handle that? Well, that's okay. But hey you there? You're a kid in a big world now, stage shows in every town, producers who stare from your legs to your big stare away. You're a kid in a big world now, only one way to go. Now that's down, and you're kicked when you're down. And the press, they'll flash their cameras, they'll test you and guess your words, they're not like theirs. If that's okay, then you go on and say, but hey you there? You're a kid in a big world now, stuck right in the middle now. No one to trust, just work till you bust. Then there's some kid to take your place, who has no wrinkles, no lines, no trace of makeup to hide the breakup inside. To hide the breakup inside. Take care. Can't believe it's 47 years since I wrote that. Okay, well, as I say, that was the title song of my debut album. But in fact, originally, the album was going to be called Kid in a Big World. No, it wasn't. It was going to be called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And eventually, CBS decided that Kid in a Big World was a more evocative title. So I did a photo session at Shepherd's Bush in this derelict house, staring winsomely out of a bedroom window, the kid in the big world. But we did originally do a photo session with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner in mind at the Inn on the Park in Park Lane, where I'm sitting in a restaurant and this, that and the other, in a cocktail bar. And those pictures weren't seen for about 30 years until Technicolor Biography was released in 2004 by RPM, and they used some of those pictures then. So I thought it'd be quite nice to play the song that was going to be the title song, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and here it is. The girl in the Vogue magazine shades is afraid of my lady in drag. She throws parties to drown out the noise of our parties in town. Last night she took all of my horses and she rode them up to the moon. She left a note saying, I love you, so long, right back soon. And Flash just flew past my window. Batman rang me today. Superman, he's my best friend. Spider-Man's coming to stay. And I'll play my accordion like all accordions should be played. The old man who searches in waste bins was a sinner, soothsayer and squire. He once made an LP on the behaviour of bees from Yorkshire. Last night I gave him a vodka and he coughed up his gold bullion, which he'd earned playing the cello, oboe, banjo and violin. And Flash just flew past my window. Batman rang me today. Superman, he's my best friend. Spider-Man's coming to stay. And I'll play my accordion like all accordions should be played. The gentleman who is my banker weeds my flower bed every week. He tells stories of famine and donkeys that stretched up the street. Last year he was sacked from a factory for laughing too loud at the jokes of a mayor who is now a messiah for all flabby folks. And Flash just flew past my window. Batman rang me today. Superman, he's my best friend. Spider-Man's coming to stay. And I'll play my accordion like all accordions. Yes, I'll play my accordion like all accordions. Oh, I'll play my accordion like all accordions should be played. Oh, yeah. There we go, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. As you can see, I've got all the words printed out in very large type. It's something to do with age and memory. And every year when I type out the lyrics, they get bigger. One day I'm going to have cue cards on the wall with enormous, massive letters in front of me. That might be the time to give up, perhaps. Anyway, that was an old song, and I thought I'd do a fairly recent song now. And the title song of my latest album, the one that was released last year, Cut the Wire. And this is a song really about childhood, fantasy childhood really. Lots of memories interwoven with fantasies of a family that all lived together and the dramas they went through. As I say, it's kind of made up of my memories and a dream escape. Cut the Wire. Let's climb all the trees and shout our name to the sky and clouds. Let's run in the streets and laugh. Let's pose for our photograph. 'Cause sometimes, yes sometimes, we need to cut the wire. Mum danced in the rain last night. Dad howled at the full moonlight. They ran in the sea naked. We all did the same as they did. 'Cause sometimes, yes sometimes, you need to cut the wire. I pressed my face against the window, wrote I love you in my breath. A woman walking past the window mouthed I'll leave with you instead. I screamed it's snowing, Mummy. She brought the wood in for the fire. She made us tea and toasted crumpets. We sang just like a Christmas choir. And it was easy then, yes it was breezy then, before they laid the wire. I hid in the Macintosh. The priest left for Mum to wash. We prayed there would be no end. 2 nights in the trees with friends. 'Cause sometimes, yes sometimes, you've got to cut the wire. I left my boots outside the back door, called the dog in from the cold. An old man walking past the back door seemed to never want away. I hollered, Daddy's in the mountains. Mama stroked my burning brow. She gave me honey from the pantry, and I can even taste it now. And it was all we knew, yes it was good and true, before they laid the wire. 'Cause sometimes, yes sometimes, you need to cut the wire. I made a bed out in the garden. I slept beneath the roof of stars. A badger wandering the garden seemed to whisper, it's not far. I told my sister we were eagles. She laughed and chapped me on the head. I combed her hair and heard the seagulls. I dreamed of sand dunes in my bed. And it was on the day that childhood ran away. The day they laid the wire. Ooh, 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 ooh. Cut the wire. I hope you noticed the deliberate mistake there. Completely forgot the words and made them up. If you know the song, you know they were wrong. Okay. A little while ago, a few years ago now, my husband Neil and I went to see an Edward Hopper exhibition at the Tate Modern. And cup of tea. And I particularly fell in love with a painting called Nighthawks, which depicts a sort of a 1950s coffee bar in the early hours of the morning, and all these different disparate characters sitting talking, some of them not communicating at all, people sitting at the bar at tables. And I wondered what some of them, their lives were and how they interacted with each other. Did they go there every night? Were they having a relationship? And it inspired the lyrics for this next song, which is called Permanently Temporary. upstate apartment, you lived in a house on the hill. We met when the whim overtook us, and we loved like two cats on the kill. We'd have coffee in a bar in Manhattan, the same one they served coffee strong. We sat smoking in silence like lovers in a line from a Bob Dylan song. But we were only temporary, permanently temporary. You left for a man who could show you what money to burn really means. I sailed through Garrett in Paris, lived all my bohemian dreams. Then I saw you in an old couture salon, trying on something satin and red. And within half an hour we were laughing in black satin sheets in your bed. But it was always temporary, permanently temporary. I was gone by the morning waters from a corner as you left in his rooms. And I heard sometime later that he died and you were living in a villa near Rhodes. I have coffee in a bar in Manhattan, they still serve it all night, good and strong. And I watch all the Ed Harper characters silently trying to belong. But everything is temporary, permanently temporary. All right, yes, another blast from the past now. This was a song I wrote in 1971. I was about 17 at the time. And it was recorded at Apple Studios and released as a single in the spring of 1975 and then promptly banned by Radio 1. It still seems very popular though. It's called Family Man. I am a family man. I do all I can to give my wife her money when she wants it. I am a family man. I do all I can to give it to her when she wants it. She got a double belly and she got a double chin. She watches lots of telly and she drinks a lot of gin. She goes and buys a bottle when she wants it. Yes, I am a family man. I do all I can to bring the money in regularly. Bring the money in regularly. Got a woman in town. She picks me up when I'm feeling down. Oh, that little woman, she's so fine. I am a family man. I do all I can to bring the money in regularly. Bring the money in regularly. I got a son, shoots some people with a gun. I got a daughter hooked on Jamaica rum. We got no point and I get no more fun. No. I am a family man. I do all I can to bring the money in regularly. Bring the money in regularly. Oh, you know I am a family man, and I do all I can. Oh, to bring the money in regularly. Yes, I bring the money in regularly. Oh, I'd like to dedicate that to Frank Zeisel of Life Is A Minestrone, who asked me to specifically play that song today. So, hope that was alright, Frank. Yes, we recorded that at Apple Studios. The engineer was a guy called Phil McDonald, who was the engineer on Instant Karma and John Lennon's Imagine, and he had some amazing stories to tell, as you can imagine. Okay, from an old song to a brand new song, really. This is one of my most recent singles. I brought two out recently, but this was released in middle of May. And the lyric came from one morning I was sitting contemplating, not a lot in particular, but thinking about the situation we all find ourselves in now. And the words just came out of the ether. So I wrote them all down, brought them into the studio, worked on a melody and worked it up into a song. Over the next couple of days I recorded it. And within about 6 weeks it was released. And I do tend to think of it as my Instant Karma song because Lennon did that. He wrote, recorded, mixed and released Instant Karma within about, I think, three or 4 weeks. So it was quite nice to get this out so quickly. And it's called In the Still Beat of a Silent Day. In the still beat of a silent day, safe for trill bird song in the trees, in my soul search for the lad who stayed, lost in the wonder for the heart it feeds. In the still beat of a silent day, streets are not people, it's the noise of speed. In the glimmer of reflected skies, empty of love songs we forgot to heed. In the loud breath of deserted streets, heaving beneath leaden clouds of ache, in the heart light of tomorrow's prayer, is at the window when the songbirds wake. In the still beat of a silent day, doors blind to sunlight tapping soft, as I break stride with the dogs unstrayed, out to their dreams of the field-bathed craft. In the still beat of a silent day, smiles beneath masks where no party plays, joining gloved hands for the angels' care, cheers from the balcony's grateful gaze. And we're waitful, and we're hopeful, and we're fearful, and we're hopeful that the end will bring beat of a silent day, save for trill bird song in the trees, in my soul search for the lad who stayed, lost in the wonder for the heart it feeds. In the still beat of a silent day. There we go. Okay, well, this next song I actually recorded for an album of mine called Same Bed, Different Dreams, which was released by a French label called Disque Eurovision. And the chap who ran the label at the time, Xavier, he asked me if I'd do a showing at Rouen, at this beautiful chateau, just outside Rouen actually. And the owner of the chateau was a sculptor. And all around the grounds of his chateau were these incredible sculptures of people sitting on benches, leaning against trees, smoking a cigarette in an archway. It was quite spooky really, because you'd come around a corner and there was somebody sort of standing there, life-size sculpture. And I did the show in the evening in the this lovely walled garden. And Xavier rigged up this amazing thing, because the song's called Over the Moon. He rigged up this helium balloon, massive helium balloon, all lit up on a cable, which when I reached the chorus, this chap let the cable go, and this helium balloon rose into the sky. So I had 2 moons over me at one point. It was quite lovely. Anyway, this was the song which inspired Xavier's helium balloon. With satin ladies slinking by my room, I soon remembered who I was and why I sang a different tune. The pressure to be precious was less than being measured for a wedding suit. I never gave a hoot for convention. I only mention this so as to kiss away the tension from your otherwise sparkling eyes. Now I'm over the moon, and the moon is over me. Yes, I'm over the moon, shining brightly on what I see as my life. I played upon the games that people play. I watched their glances betray what their eyes would try to hide. The bigots growing bigger in a world too small to figure what was in their minds. Now all that's left behind, 'cause I'm over the moon, and the moon is over me. Yes, I'm over the moon, shining brightly on what I see as my life. I used to think that nighttime was my friend. The tunnel that I lived in was so long, no light shone at the end. The prejudice that dissed the pride of marchers, with their heads held high, is now in the shade. And it's my parade. I got over the moon, and the moon got over me. Yes, I'm over the moon. Shining bright, I'm over the moon, yeah. And the moon is over me. Yes, I'm over the moon, and the sun is shining brightly on me. There we are. I'll always think of that as my helium balloon song. I believe Olivier Roquebois. Hello, Olivier. You've recently written and recorded a song called Over the Moon as well, so there we are. Entirely different songs. I think yours is released later this year. Anyway, another little blast from the past, a little snippet of the 70s. And this was a song that I also wrote in 1973 called Maybe Someday in Miami. And I brought it down to London with me and demoed it for my manager at Chappell's. And it was on the tape that got me the deal with CBS. When we came to record the song at Abbey Road with Tony Meehan, I was quite surprised when he said he didn't want me to play the piano on it at all. He wanted this to be a completely different arrangement, like a 1930s Palm Court orchestra arrangement. So he brought in a lovely chap called Harry Gold, who seemed extremely old to me, but in fact he was probably younger than I am now. But at 21 he looked very old. And Harry had a band in the 30s and 40s called Harry Gold's Pieces of Eight, which was a big band at the time. It did a lot of wartime broadcasts and things. Anyway, Harry did this beautiful arrangement of Miami, and I sang it live in the Studio 2 at Abbey Road, with the band playing. Obviously I don't have a Palm Court orchestra anymore, more's the pity, so I'm going to play you the arrangement of it as it sounded when I first wrote it in 1973. Maybe someday in Miami, baby, maybe someday in Sam we'll take the day and get a ticket for a midnight ride to some deserted beach just for our eyes to see. Maybe someday in Paris, oh baby, maybe someday in Capri we'll take the day and drink champagne with an orchestra that plays our favorite songs all night long with the stars lighting up the night as we leave the cover behind. Time is no problem, we got our whole lives before us, and the wine made our heads a little light last night. Oh, maybe someday in Miami, baby, maybe someday in San we'll take the day and burn our backs in the pre-Tony Me and Harry Gold arrangement. Oh, okay. We've reached the last song of the set. It's flown for me, I don't know about you. Before I finish though, I'd like to thank Frank Zeisel at Life Is A Minestrone for inviting me to perform today. I hope you've enjoyed the songs across all these different decades and years of mine. I'm going to finish with a song I wrote when I reached my 50th birthday, which it feels like a lifetime ago now, and for any 17-year-old it is a lifetime ago. It's called The Time of Day, and when I actually wrote this song, it was a strange time in my life because it was just at the point where Kid in a Big World had been released and done re-released, that is, and done very well on CD. And I had all those memories of recording it at Abbey Road. And by the way, if you want to read about that time, I have a book published called Incidents Crowded with Life, published by Fisher King. It's out now in all good bookshops, and it goes right up to my life recording Kid in a Big World at Abbey Road and just afterwards. And the ending is quite something. So anyway, I had that going on in my head, and also I had the the fact that Cherry Red had just signed me to do a new album. So I had the pull of memories from the past and anticipations of the future, and that inspired this song. And it goes like this. Who in his right mind would give the time of day to a man no longer young, the space to stand and say, I am young in my heart, I am young in my heart. Though some days I look much older than I feel. Who can see a time when calm was not a curse, and a day we graced with smiles and loved for bad or worse? I am young in my heart, I am young in my heart. Though some days I feel much older than my years. I am young in my heart, I am young in my heart. Though some days I am much older than the earth. Who in his right mind is crazier than I, dies, giving the time of day There we go. Thank you very much for watching, and maybe see you again soon sometime. You take care, stay safe, stay well, and thank you. Bye bye now.